Hi, Pocket. Hello, chat. Bingo. Yippee.
So yes, welcome everyone to, what are we on, day 4? Day 4 of this bingo study. Our players today are Cookie and Random Name.
Yeah, super excited to be seeing these two players match up. They have had quite a history of playing silly bingo variants, so we're definitely gonna be excited to see how they fare in today's matches.
Yeah, this particular matchup, this format for this bingo study could almost have been made for these two. They're a closely matched rivalry who love to play any ridiculous bingo variant you throw at them.
Yeah, this is a banger song. It's good. Alright, it looks like both players are ready. This?
Yep, so we should be getting started here shortly. To explain again for anyone who hasn't watched the previous 3 days of this, the first game here will just be regular lockout bingo, and then whoever wins that will determine who goes first in the pick ban process to determine what weird variant they play next. We have Oh No versus Winner IMO.
Oh, the classic matchup. We'll see. We'll see how this match fares between them.
Yeah, I think no, sorry. I think Cookie was saying recently that they haven't played a lot of Celeste recently, or possibly just that they haven't played a lot of vanilla Celeste recently. So maybe that's why they're pessimistic. But yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Okay, we have board. So this is gonna be honestly quite a rather interesting board. There's quite a few early things that you could commit to, but also, yeah, this is a little bit of a strange board early game wise, because there's just so many quick things that you could go for.
Yeah, I mean, looking immediately, we see Grabless 1A, 10 Berries in 1A, Forsaken City Cassette, and also Read the Poem in Awake. And you very much have to question, okay, which of these do I do, and which of these do I skip to be ahead to the others?
So looks like Oh, yeah, it looks like we're gonna be heading back to an intermission. Uh, some minor technical difficulties. But we'll go back to vibing with Pigstep, or no longer Pigstep, into the jungle. So, if he... okay, that's less than a minor difficulty, but anyways, we'll get on with it.
Yeah, okay, so question to Twitch chat while we wait. If you've been watching the previous days of this, what has been your favorite variant that we've had so far? And you can answer that either from the perspective of thinking it's like a good variant to play, or just having found it fun to watch.
Have you experienced the lockout?
Yeah, Google Translate Bingo was definitely fun. I was actually... so I haven't managed to catch all of the previous streams, so I was just watching back the Google Translate Bingo before this started. And yeah, it's...
I personally was a fan of Strawberry Jam Bingo. Totally not biased because I made the generator. But objectively, actually, I think the Google Translate Bingo was the most entertaining one that we've had. Oh no, not the dot plus Moonberry. Oh no. Tragedy.
Yeah, I found it very interesting looking at the Google Translate Bingo board, and particularly seeing... Well, I guess like anything where there was a number, particularly like all berries in a checkpoint objectives, because you still have the parentheses number of berries at the end, and so that's an interesting case where it very much rewards your bingo knowledge if you can recognize which checkpoints have that many berries in to narrow down.
Speaking of Google Translate Bingo, there's been comparisons made to Bingo but hard to read, and in fact, one of the scrapped objectives that Random had was all berries start of 5A, but the entire text is in Japanese, and then it's just 12 as the number. that was one of the objectives in the new version of Bingo but hard to read, which it got changed because it's completely nonsensical, but I just find it funny that there is some overlap between Google Translate Bingo and Bingo but hard to read.
Yeah, I mean, like, personally, I've always felt like Bingo but hard to read to me is sort of interesting as an intellectual challenge to look at a board and try and figure out what the objectives are, but I don't think I would want to be doing that while actually playing the bingo. Google Translate Bingo, I think I might actually enjoy doing it while playing the bingo.
Yeah, I tried Bingo but hard to read once, during a micro meta bingo match, and it was so hard trying to figure out what the objectives were. I was like, oh yeah, that's what it is after it. Makes sense once I've been told what the objectives are. But figuring them out on the fly was quite challenging. I've yet to add Chicory OST to like my Spotify playlist. It's so good. And a random name is in fact back with the 2 players revealed again. And also we got highlighting, which is nice. Actually makes it a bit easier to read objectives, which is very cool. And we also see a board reveal.
Okay, so I see immediately Old Side Cassette and Blue and Red Heart in Old Side. So those could obviously go together.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you stick with the A side for 2A, there's Read the Poem and Awake, and you potentially can be first into 4A for 2-seeded Berries and Golden Ridge Blue Heart.
Yeah. That's quite a trade that they're gonna have to evaluate, because it's 2 for potentially you skip Poem and Awake to cash in on 2-seeded and Ridge Blue first, knowing that you're behind, but it really depends on when they want to go for it on this board.
Yeah, and then there's obviously playing 2B first pass is good for use 7 binoculars moving forward. Playing you could potentially get a 1-up there for get a 1-up in 3 chapters.
There's not really much in 3A, and there's not much in Summit either. This Summit you probably go for, well, you have the gems, but you probably also go for 15 and 5 at the end. Other than that, there's not really much reason to go into Summit, or maybe even 7 winged.
Yeah, the 7 winged, there's all berries in 1K, 1K and 1500 gems.
Oh,
and it's also good for binoculars.
Oh, there is.
And then eventually there's all
Flags
flags in 3K.
Okay, random starting off with progress 1-up. This is pretty typical at this level. They're both they're both really good players. They're both for sure definitely expert level, so we will be seeing expert level routing and execution here. Just see how it pans out. And there's 6 berries for random. Just gonna collect the 1-up here. Very tidy.
Yep. Meanwhile, Cookie has just played the chapter any percent. I think we might be seeing slightly more stream delay on Random's side, so just to bear that in mind. That, or he was slower in Prologue somehow. But yeah, Random very much a 1-up enjoyer. I would expect to see him go for a progress 1-up here in 2A as well.
Well, Cookie going for the Bino in 2A, which would mean that they're going for Old Site Cassette into probably 2B right away. Yep, and there's the tick for Cookie. Now, whether or not to get the seeded is a question. He probably might, given how early it is, and probably given the fact that random probably goes for like progress 1-ups regardless. So, oh, and Cookie continuing on. Now, I'm not sure if this is a progress 1-up or if this is just they're not collecting the berry. Looks like they're just not collecting the berries. A little bit risky. Okay, that's first. Okay, there's a seeded collected, so they're safe on that. And random in the same room, 5 berries. Oh, a little bit unfortunate. It's the last berry for the progress 1-up. Pretty tidy. 2-way progress 1-up.
Yep. And so we see the two players are more or less even in progress at this point, with Cookie having an objective and Random having most of an objective, 2/3 of an objective. The 1-ups will also give him a little bit of extra progress towards 40 berries and 50 berries later in the game. I guess technically also 15 berries in 5 chapters, but that kind of less so because you're going to have to go back into checkpoints you've already gone into to get 15 berries in 1A and 2A.
Move from skipping point and wake. It makes sense here. You committed to the seeded, so you probably want to go for 2 seeded here. Otherwise, you skip seeded and you go poem, or you probably still go straight for a blue heart and then go for Seer's Friend, which is the fastest, like the progress check objective on here.
Although, come to think of it, okay, so interestingly, we see. Although I was going to say we see Random not going for a 1-up, but then he.
Okay, so Random's going for a 1-up with the seeded. This is still going to be slower because you can't actually tick the 2 seeded until you've completed a 1-up. So by committing to this so late, Random is going to be having to go and do the seeded berry and lose the objective and also potentially lose Ridge Blue Heart as well, which is definitely not ideal, but yeah, 2 seeded turns Forest and a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And okay, there's the last 1-up right here. Yeah, and Cookie is going for the blue heart, so that's a 3 objective swing with advantage to blue red sight for Cookie.
Yeah. We do see Random not actually ticking 1-up in 3 chapters, clearly figuring that if Cookie had also done the 1-ups, well, firstly, they wouldn't have beaten him to 2 seeded, and secondly, they would have ticked the 1-ups. So he can safely delay that for a while, at least.
Random getting C-pop, Cookie unfortunately missing it, so they go back to... And they also miss Block Ultra. This is truly tragic.
Okay, and this definitely somewhat evens things out, assuming Random can maintain this lead through the chapter. He will be first into 5A and find Theo's phone there. And what's after that? Two keys in 5B. There's also 5 keys.
I think we see there's Unraveling, there's I mean, there's berries in 5A. There's 4A. Oh, the last board had 4A sides, not this board. Yeah. Where else do you go after this? You probably just play 5B, do you?
I guess. So there is the possibility of. It depends how much you care about getting into late game, because if potentially you feel like you don't care so much about getting into late game quickly, there's a possibility of going immediately for depths berries to synergize with 40 berries, 50 berries, and 15 and 5. There's also, of course, the simple possibility of just going back to 2A to read the poem. When players choose to do that is going to be a question for a while. And players entering 5A pretty much at the same time.
And random wins Theo's fan.
Okay, yeah, so we definitely have slightly more stream delay on Random's side, because it looks to us like Cookie got there first. Unless Cookie just couldn't find the objective on the board, but it's probably a stream delay thing.
Yeah. And Random going straight for Poem and Awake right now. Makes sense. Just another free objective on the table. You set up well for berries. There's one up in 3 as well.
Okay, and it looks like Cookie quit out at depths, probably to go back for Poem, and then saw it ticked, and so immediately went back into depths. And now we see Cookie is going for the cassette. So we'll see if Random also goes for the cassette into 5B or stays in 5A for depths berries or unraveling berry. Ninja saying Cookie may have been planning to take Theophone at the end and then it turned yellow. I don't think that's true, because basically that would be a mistake to do that. You can't assume, especially since Random had ticked nothing, you can't assume that you're not going to get locked out of that very fast objective. And we do see Random immediately going for depths berries. So sacrificing progress somewhat to just cash in on berry synergy.
Yeah, all these berries will put Random up to 34 berries, which like it just is just a still a long commitment, but it's definitely worth going for at this stage. 2 keys and 5B by Cookie. Oh, I missed all flags in 3K. That's okay. That's an objective that's on the board. And Ninja car. Yeah, EA for the generator. So true.
So, one possibility for Random here, I think, is he could go back into 3A for potentially 7 winged. We have Alt Sight and Pico 8 he could get access to, and Orb in Pico 8. Progress towards all collectibles in 3A while finishing off 40 berries, 50 berries, and 5 keys.
Yeah. I think what we're gonna see is just like depth arb, which is what Random is doing, plus also getting the key here. You probably want to delay depth arb for a little bit so you can be safely contesting 3A, but it just really depends on where they're going, and Cookie's now going for 3A to win 5 keys, so this is unfortunately not going to work.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because I was thinking, 2 keys and 5B could be nice for 5 keys, except
2 keys and 5 keys even better for a Cookie, because you only need to play like 20 seconds of not unlocking is a choice, but okay.
I think it's fair. You know, as Random, that Cookie went to 5B rather than 5A, and playing through depths any percent is pretty fast.
Yeah, this is also still good to have access to 7 winged. What else? 7 winged, old type Pico, general 3A progress.
Yeah, and to respond to Kristen and chat, 5 keys just to take something Random can do. I don't think that's Cookie's reasoning, because at the time Cookie quit out to go into 3A, Random hadn't ticked Depths Arb yet.
Cookie had 3 keys already by then. It's always worth for them to go for it. Whereas Random only has 2 from not playing 5B at all.
Yeah, and as I kind of highlighted talking about this as a potential play for Random, there's a decent amount you can get from playing 3A, certainly up to Huge Mess. So it's kind of just a good place to be, as well as cashing in on the synergy.
Okay. Cookie committing to old type Pico. It's decently fast. It's like, what, less than a minute? Into Pico. Do we see Random also commit to Pico, or he's gonna see the winged and leave? Looks like winged.
Yeah, we should note that, okay, Random has now ticked 40 berries, but he had that for a little while. Okay, and just gets the winged and leaves.
Yeah, I agree with leaving immediately. You want to go and get, like, build up some more objectives before, and like you're pretty confident that your berry objectives are safe because Cookie didn't commit to 1-ups or any of the berries like depth berries, so he can pretty safely delay that for a little bit.
Interestingly, Cookie actually delayed ticking Old Titan Pico 8, which is like that's not a safe delay. Never mind. Yeah, so Random gets his 7 winged berries. Cookie has reached the orb in Pico 8. Random is back in depths. Presumably we go to Unraveling now, or to 5B.
Unraveling. Yeah, this is the correct play here. Unraveling just has an objective, and it has
Cookie,
2 quick berries at minimum. So.
And Cookie going for use 7 binoculars here.
Do you play 2B now?
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that this only made sense if they were going to go 2B at this point.
So after this, I think what we're gonna see is, so it's gonna be 9 for Cookie. Into the core berry is probably one that they're certain to have, so it's just a matter of where you're gonna go to. Like, they're probably gonna finish 5B for late game, or go into the core. Depends on what they think, but I think into the core is pretty safe for them at the moment. I mean, you never know with everything else.
I think here Cookie probably should go into the core, because by the time they're done... Actually, by the time they're done 2B and 2A blue... I'm just trying to think how the 5A, 5B race would compare at that point.
Random is here, and unraveling to the end of 5B is, or unraveling to the end versus 5B is about the same. So we're gonna see Random probably entering, or probably leaving search by the time Cookie re-enters. So this is actually going to be pretty close into late game if Random continues on.
I mean, Epic, you say Random is in a very difficult spot here, but I think it's not out of the question that Random is first into Summit here.
Did Random get Unraveling Berry?
Yeah, he did.
Let's play right, say, yeah, you could just delete that.
So, I mean, at this point, the big question really is who gets into Summit first.
From here, it's going to be very close. It really depends on how Random's rescue is, which usually is pretty good. I mean, like, look at that. That's...
Yeah, because if Random can beat Cookie into Summit, then I think he's in a pretty good position. But if Cookie gets to Summit first, then they just win.
Random P beat Summit yesterday, so it's definitely gonna be an interesting race. Like, the exit gap is not as big anymore for late game. Opting to skip Rescue Berry, I guess it's at this stage in the race, you probably think, yeah, Summit is super important, so it's probably more valuable to skip out on quite a straightforward berry that doesn't take a lot of time and almost gets sniped by that Seeker, but they're doing fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, Random getting 50 berries is really not in question, so Rescue Berry would only be for 15 and 5. And Random already has 12 berries here. Actually, 13 because he's got one start berry.
Okay, so Cookie actually finishes first, but like, that is extremely close into Summit. Now it's a matter of whether they commit 1k ARB or 1k 1.5k gems for more progress, or how they want to play it out. I think Cookie might actually leave the berries just because Random has so many berries already, but it really could go either way. It's Summit, anything can happen. Players into 1k. And with Cookie already completing 7 binos, there's no need to get any binos here. Just a straightforward race here in Summit.
Yeah, pointing out in chat, the unraveling tick was very delayed.
Unraveling tick was delayed the right amount.
Oh yeah,
because you saw blue-red sight. You had time to delay until there.
But it means it's possible that Cookie might play differently based on the timing. Because, I mean, like, even if you assume it's delayed, you still don't know by how much precisely.
Random.
Although, yeah, random having some slight moments at the end of 500 meters.
I've never seen that wall bounce before, but okay. Okay, so Cookie does in fact go for berries. Going for a 1k full clear. If random also goes for berries, then this is gonna be a bit of a time loss, which they aren't going for berries, which is huge. Just only going for 1k, 1.5k gems. You get progress berries. You're probably not going to use this as your level for 15 and 5. Probably going to go back into 2A.
And they get the gem at pretty much the same time. So yeah, okay, we're going to split 1k up and 1k, 1.5k gems. And then presumably both players will quit out. Because all flag 3k is way off.
Okay, so random's gonna be at 49 here. So that's like pretty safe. You could just get one berry, that's super fast. This is not a fast berry, but okay, this is fine.
So yeah, where do we go after this? Into the core berry is...
Into the core is solidly for Cookie. So
yeah, like,
Cookie's gonna be at 11.
It's a very fast objective if you have the hearts for it, which random does not. But Cookie does.
Yep, Cookie quits out right away. Yep, goes into core. Random name going for Grabba's Hollows.
Yeah.
Also gives access for a heart if Into the Core berry isn't ticked yet.
But then after this, 15 and 5 is pretty favored to random. So Cookie probably doesn't want to try and contest that. And then that leaves all collectibles 3A, intro car, and all flags 3K.
All collectibles 3 is also random favored, and yeah, lake skip is hard.
I don't think all collectibles 3A is that favored to random. Because like, he didn't get the berry before Yasik, so he still has to replay most of 3A start. And then otherwise, they both have huge mass access.
Cookie missing oil skip, going for no single dash very well, which they are comfortable with, so. Random committing to Grabba's Hollows. Okay, just unlocking singular. All going for Gravis Hollows now.
Okay, this is definitely good for random. Since he's behind, it's very beneficial to him if Cookie wastes their time getting locked out of something.
Where do you go after this? Do you go back for all couples 3? Do you play Summit? Do you...
Possibly you go Farewell.
or Farewell. Like
Random is a Farewell enjoyer.
is Random a Farewell enjoyer? I know Cookie is.
Yeah, like I think definitely when he started playing Bingo, Random was quite keen on Farewell. I mean, I don't know necessarily, like what level of speed he has in Farewell, but he certainly enjoys playing the chapter.
If you do bottom route for that room, it's not one that you usually see a lot, but you don't have to do a climb jump out of dash state because of Gravis variant, so it makes that easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also one that you don't see that often unless you're playing Gravis Hollows or you're playing bottom root Hollows or anything else. Yeah, just wasting 2 minutes of Cookie's time here is gonna be quite beneficial. Oh, please don't die. Okay, cool. Oh, and okay, random does go Farewell. Interesting. Good
Random
retry.
is also delaying Grabless Hollows, which is...
Nope. Okay, so they're just waiting until the orb, and then they take it. So they just stick right here. It's perfect timing. Farewell race.
Yeah, okay. So
if random gets the
pretty
Ultra
close
Chain,
Farewell
then
race.
random's ahead. Almost got it. Yeah, both of these players very practiced with Farewell. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to question, I don't know like how practiced Cookie is at no DTS, or if they're like more a DTS specific player, because I know that Random is definitely very practiced at no DTS.
Yeah, Cookie primarily plays no DTS.
Okay, and we see Random taking a slight... No, wait, we don't see Random taking a slight lead. Something happened while I was not looking at Cookie's screen.
Yeah, both of these players are able to... I say complete Farewell within 25 minutes comfortably, so... Oh no. This room is a little bit of a mess. If you go early, then you're kind of just stuck there with the fish on the edge of the the moon block. Okay, Cookie quitting out. Come back to 3 full clear. For all collectibles. I know they're different, but
so Cookie trying to multitask here is interesting. I'm not sure it's correct. Like, if Cookie was on 12 objectives right now, then I would 100% agree with what they're doing. But given that they're on 11, and Random is kind of favored to one of the remaining objectives, not so much. Also, technically, Cookie has no way of knowing that Random didn't unlock 2k after getting the 1.5k gem. And if, we know that he didn't, but from Cookie's perspective, he could have, which would mean he would be slightly favored to all flags 3K as well. So,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
I don't know.
no. That is a tragic death.
On the other hand, maybe Cookie's just kind of making the soul read of random is in farewell right now, I might get locked out of this, so just go somewhere else.
A second time from random. Yeah, okay, but with 3 full clear, it just really depends on where random is planning to get their 5th chapter now. So you're kind of forced into 2A because it's fast. Where else do you go? Actually, no, maybe even 2A isn't fast anymore. Like, you really don't know what other levels to go for. Maybe you have to go summit for 15 berries to set up for all flags 3K. Cookie got beat to grab his hollows, but Cookie also played into the core berry. So, and the difference between into the core berry and also farewell. So, and the difference between into the core berry and farewell versus completing 7A or completing 1.5k. Completing 1.5k is faster than that. Okay, we are gonna see Jellyvator strats in Intercard room. I suck at doing Jellyvators, or just like jelly climb. I don't know what this is called. I just can't do it. I much prefer just doing the no jelly strat, but very cleanly done by random.
Yeah, I've just never learned how to do that room with jelly. So, whereas I have learned how to do it without the jelly, so no jelly intro car is fine. And now we see random back in summit.
Yeah, this is the correct play here. Yeah, and absolutely getting berries. So this is their 5th berry in summit right now, so they're going to be committing for 15 and 5 with summit, where they get their 5th chapters either 2A or 3A. It's really just going to come down to whatever progress they feel like is better. But yeah, this is absolutely massive for random.
And yeah, as Epic says in chat, random is delaying intro car here, probably because he reasons that if Cookie was doing it, they would have ticked it already. Which, I mean, the thing is, that can be risky logic to apply, because Cookie could have just had similar execution moments to random, but the delay is working.
Yep, and there's intro car. And random is a whole checkpoint ahead in summit with a significant berry lead. Almost sized it at Dust Bunny, but forced back into 3A for full clear. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's probably safe to assume random wins this.
It really depends on the end choice. Really just comes down to do 15-5 first or 3K first. You should do 3K first, or yeah, all flags first. It's way more important given that you know you have a berry lead with the objectives that you've ticked, but you also could never know. But that's what I would personally do. I do 3K berries because they're pretty fast into with all flags 3K. But I could also understand why Cookie is going for 3A full clear. It's also chaptered with berries, and it's just a level that just has, you just get every single berry plus the heart indica set, so it makes sense why Cookie's going for this. But unfortunately, it's a 50-50 that they had to make, and it's not the correct one.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I'm just wondering how much progress Cookie can catch up towards 15 and 5.
Not enough. There's too little time for Cookie.
Yeah.
Cookie like might be able to get to like 15 and 3 almost for 4th and 5th. It'll probably up to like the upper ends of 50 berries, I'd guess. Maybe even low 60, but it's a little bit too far out of range with the lockouts on Grabos Hollow. If they didn't get locked in with Grabos Hollows and Farewell, then they would have had a much better shot at 15 berries and 5. Oh. Door skip. Door skip. Let's go. Oh no, did Cookie die? Okay, let's see what random berry count is in Summit. 12 or 13? Oh, that's 15. Okay. So, complete with 15 berries, like, even before 3K. So this is just straight 3K complete.
Okay, and everyone has to make sure to watch to be certain that Random doesn't skip a flag.
Random, you already have 15 berries. Okay, 25. Oh, 24, get 24, get 24, get 24. Get 24.
He remembers.
23, yo.
I mean, yeah, when I said we have to watch to make sure he doesn't skip the flag, I didn't expect it to become relevant so soon.
I have no idea if you have to get it all in one pass or just easy to touch every flag. So, flag 24, skipping flag 24 is not that big of a deal because it's so early, but like the critical ones are like flag 18, which Random gets, flag 17, flag 8, flag 5.
Flag 8 is a really big one.
There's flag 15, 14. Cookie and Summit also collecting berries for 15 and 5. They already have a good amount in Summit from their lead from the 1K berries, but again, just reading the incorrect 50-50, or it wasn't incorrect, it just wasn't the one that would have worked for them to win this game. Okay, moment of truth. Okay, we don't even get to see it because that happened. Okay, there's 8. There we go.
Okay, yeah. Random gets flag 8, so he wins this game, basically.
You're just 2 more flags that you could theoretically skip in the speedrun. Flag 5, flag 2, but Hopefully that doesn't happen. Drops down, down dashes. Gets that security for flag 5. Just flag 4 berry. Just over the ceiling. Misdirects. Okay, last one. That was the critical one. No! ran out of stamina. There's flag 1. Why are you delaying this? Please don't delay this.
I mean, he saw the tick for all collectibles 3A, so he can delay this.
Just want to get 2 berries and 5 to get 15 and 4 and then after stick. Or 15 and 3. All of like 3k. Okay, 8 berries. He's got 2 berries here. I need to remember, I think there are 9 berries here. So that will put random up to almost 15.
And yeah, we see Cookie trying to contest 15 and 5, but Cookie has only just made it to 50 berries total, and the distribution of their berries is less favorable.
You don't need the heart random, what are you doing?
Yeah, the distribution of Cookie's berries is less favorable to 15 and 5 because they got all 25 in 3A, whereas random probably doesn't have more than 15 in a chapter. I think he got a 16th berry in Summit. But...
15 in core, surely. The golden berry is secretly worth 10 berries. Okay, there's 14. Just get like fast one here. Very nice. 15 and it's 1A. Yep, makes a decision to do 15 and 2A, which is the correct play. Cookie has quite a few left, but No, this is Cookie's third chapter for 15. This is Random's fourth, but is significantly advantaged for... This is 4 for 5th. I have no idea how many berries Random has in 4A. Okay. And we're getting the last 3 quick berries in intervention. And yes, the quick berries just doesn't include the last 2 berries of intervention. Yeah, the first 3 berries were from the progress 1-up, so just the 3 berries here.
Yeah, okay. And
Random.
Thank
you.
Random must be very close to 15 and 5 at this point, because 15 times 5 is 75, and he has more than 75 berries. Yeah, okay, so just another 4 and 4A, and I think he will have the objective.
Yeah, not going 500 berries. Yeah, I would have liked to see 500 berries, but it is what it is. And again, but there's 15 and 5 from Random. That is GG's. Well played to the both of them in this first matchup of Brawl. Yeah, despite being 3 objectives down in the early game, Random manages to claw back their way with a huge berry lead from committing to 1-up in 3 and setting up much better. And both of them played the mid game quite well, but it came down to Random getting the couple lockouts, the couple critical lockouts, about like 3 minutes, at least 3 minutes of lockouts, which would have been enough, I believe, for Cookie to be able to contest 15 and 5 much more closely. But yeah, excited to see what the next game brings.
Yep, so we'll be going into our picks and bans to see what the next game is. So just to read this out for the benefit of Twitch chat, we have a choice between 3 categories, between being other generators, assist mode, and chaos. Other generators are old site go, individual berry bingo, and cheat mode bingo. The assist mode options are 140% speed, 100 times dash speed, and infinite jumps. And chaos options are bingo but cannon, 25 objective draft, and chef's special.
Okay.
And Cookie is banning other generators.
Yeah. With that, I'll be hopping off. We'll be having a new commentator on here. It's fun being on here to commentate this match. So I'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Okay, and random name chooses the chaos category, which Should probably not come as a surprise. And he bans the 25 objective draft. So we are getting either Bingo but Cannon or Chef's Special. Cookie is taking a bathroom break, so we will have to wait a little bit to find out which of those two. Yeah, so Bingo but Cannon is essentially the idea is permadeath. So for every 1-up you get gives you an extra life. You have to keep track of how many lives you have. If you run out, you have to delete your save file and start again from prologue.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, huh. I have a feeling this next one is going to be very content.
It is definitely going to be something.
Yeah.
I must admit, I was rooting a little bit for us to possibly end up in assist mode with infinite jumps, because
That would be funny.
that has the potential to be very funny, and I think Random has actually played some infinite jumps stuff, or possibly tasked infinite jumps.
He picks Bingo but Cannon.
No, they're saying they're not picking Bingo but Cannon.
Oh, I can read.
So
Sorry.
we will be getting Chef's Special. So
it makes a
let's
lot of
see.
sense for Cookie not to pick Bingo but Cannon, since Random is quite experienced in 1-ups, as we saw from last game.
I mean, so is Cookie, to be fair.
Yeah, they are
But,
expert
yeah.
players.
But yes, so Chef's Special. Let's see what Flying has cooked up for us this time.
Oh gosh.
So in the Discord channel, Flying has posted an image as a preview, and a lot of people are reacting to it, and I have no idea what it means.
Neither do I. Everyone's saying, "Oh dear." There's a separate mod for this that they have to download, I think. Oh wow.
I mean, is it not just the beta branch of Bingo UI?
Oh, it's a custom install of Bingo UI. I think, from what I can see. Rahelma is the current programmer of Bingo UI. New progression. We're gonna see some new progression played. Wow.
Oh right, this. Oh yeah. So I was also confused because I am from the UK, where we structure our dates correctly from day to month to year. And so I was confused when I saw
Yeah.
3/6/2024, because I read that as the 3rd of June, which is in the future, instead of the 6th of March.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is not just the already existing beta branch of Bingo UI that I already have. It is something else.
Wow. Whole UK team right now. 2 UK comms and a UK restreamer. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay.
This new progression is called Cookies and Cream. Start with 6 ABC. 6A leads to 7A and 8A. 6B leads to 7B and 8B. 6C leads to 7C. 7C leads to 8C. 8C leads to 7A plus 7B plus 8A plus 8B. What? Summit checkpoints A or B unlock the corresponding.
Yeah, so summit checkpoints on A or B unlock the corresponding A or B side epilogue via 7AB or 8ABC.
So,
Farewell via
what do you unlock the
8ABC.
rest of the game?
Good Lord. Good Lord is part of the description of the custom progression.
That makes sense. So does the rest of the game exist?
Yeah. You unlock other chapters by completing the corresponding checkpoints in 7A or 7B.
Oh my goodness. That's incredible.
So,
Oh,
complete 500 meters to unlock chapter 1.
wow. So say you complete 500 meters in 7B, you're gonna unlock 1B. 500 meters in what? Yeah. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen a progression as complicated and involved as this. Oh, it's unlock 500 meters, not complete it. Oh, okay. Wow. And completing 1A would not unlock 2A as it would normally. Wow. That's some heart gates.
Okay, yeah,
No, I
so...
don't think so.
Yeah, I'm assuming... No, I'm assuming we must have custom heart gates for this, otherwise it wouldn't work. Because you have to be able to play the core sides. Yeah, all heart gates are 0 hearts.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so custom heart gates are in the publicly existing Bingo UI beta, because they can be used for Rocky Road progression as well. And so you can just change the number of hearts required to unlock the different sides of core. So, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. My immediate instinct is to say that you play C-sides.
Possibly, yeah.
Because if you just go 6C, 7C, 8C, 8C unlocks 7A, and 7B and 8A and 8B.
Yes, you don't have to play through all of 6A. What, 6A?
Yeah. So then I assume that's like the fastest way to get to 7A, which then allows you to unlock other chapters.
Which then allows you to play the
from
game.
earlier in the game.
Well, it depends if there's a lot of objectives in like 6A and 6B, which I'm assuming there won't be too many.
And yeah, so we're getting clarifications that cassettes do still work to unlock B-sides, and completing B-sides unlocks the A-sides.
Okay.
C-sides earlier than 6 do not get unlocked.
Wow, okay, so... Yeah, so you can't play like 1C and onwards. So it isn't like a cheat mode gen. Yeah, why is the bingo study? So far in all these chef specials, we haven't had to have the users download a separate mod so far. It's just been things available in normal bingo UI.
Okay. Oh no times 2 versus fear content. Or fear... Is it the fear in content, or a fear of content?
Is the content scary? Fear the content.
Okay, so after spending so long talking about the weirdness of this progression, it's somehow jarring to look at the bingo board and have it be completely normal.
Yeah.
So,
I do see...
Okay, so Reflection Cassette is an early game objective in this
Same with
progression, and so is Reflection Blue Heart.
That's not normal. We'll likely see 7 binos get ticked sooner than you normally would.
Yep. Because you can just do that in 7A. Also, C-sides have binoculars. Yeah, once we get into 7A, there's all binoculars in 1K. 5 gems in Summit.
All berries in 1K.
Oh, yep. 5 berries in 5 chapters is kind of an interesting one.
That's going to be quite a long one, really.
5 chapters to get 5 berries in them.
It's going to be really interesting to see how these players route this incredibly new and weird progression. When is Farewell unlocked? Need to look at this. Farewell.
The chapter select menu looks so weird with just prologue and reflection.
8A, 8B, or 8C.
Okay, so Cookie goes immediately into 6C.
Does make sense, yeah.
Random
also goes in 6C.
Okay, yeah. I thought Random was going 6A for the 2 quick objectives in hollows, but I guess that was just a mismenu.
Yeah, 6A is incredibly slow here, considering how fast 6C is, and how you can complete all these seasides full. And especially as Ninja said in the chat, how these seasides are going to give quite a few binos quite early. So the first objective to be ticked could very well be use 7 binoculars. Since I know 6C has 2. And then you go into 500 meters.
And here we are seeing the interesting spectacle of 2 bingo players having to play seasides, which are not usually in bingo.
Yeah. Definitely not used to this type of gameplay. No, I haven't played 6C in quite a while. It's likely that these players won't have either. Quite a few unfortunate deaths from both players.
Yeah, I mean, so both players are at the second checkpoint in the final room. Okay, it looks like Cookie is the first one out.
Yeah, first one to complete 6C.
Okay, you can just 5 jump over that.
Yeah, apparently.
Nice.
Random's also now out of 6C. Both in 7C now.
Yep. Time for the only good seaside.
Wow. Arguably easier than 6C in most places, apart from maybe final. But I should quite quickly be able to go through the first 2 rooms. And hopefully not have too many unfortunate deaths to the later parts.
So, back before I started speedrunning, just casually, when I started doing Goldens, 7C was one of the earliest Golden Berries that I got. It was definitely the first seaside Golden that I got. Because I just figured, like, the first 2 rooms, once you practice them a little bit, you shouldn't die in them ever. So it's basically just, I have to do this one room without dying.
Yeah, the seasides are quite interesting Goldens. They're not really, they don't feel like a Golden really, as much. Pretty much tied here. Getting out of 60 at pretty much exactly the same time. 70, I mean. Both going into 8C.
Both with 4 deaths in 7C, it looked like. And yeah, we also see here the funny custom heart gates that just open instantly. Random, you've wasted a dash.
Yeah. Seems to have forgotten that core does not refill, and dashed up to get the bino. Cookie just entered the final room. Random having a little bit of trouble in the second one.
Yeah, so I mean, Reflection Blue and Reflection Cassette, the thing is they're fast objectives, but
you lose out on a lot of progress.
Yeah.
You just can't contest anything else, really.
Like, because progression is all tied to Summit, it's very important to get there early.
Yeah, going for 6A and 6 blue, even if you get those 2 objectives for free, you've wasted like a very long time which you could have spent just trying to unlock Summit, and now you suddenly don't have the rest of the game. It's kind of like playing Winged Golden first pass, in a way.
No, Winged Golden first pass can work.
In rare occasions it can. Yeah, even if they...
Yeah, I guess that is an interesting point Realmot makes. With the number of deaths they've been taking, it might have been faster to play 6A. And that is kind of fair, actually, looking at Cookie's file time is over 7 minutes. Obviously, like 1 minute-ish of that is prologue. But yeah, just playing 6A might have been slightly faster.
Yeah,
but
it may have been viable, but you don't want to risk your opponent having some very good C-sides.
Yeah, you wouldn't have gotten the binoculars out of it. And yeah, suddenly, in theory, the C-sides are faster.
Yeah. Hopefully Random doesn't have too many more deaths in 8C. Ooh.
Actually, I guess thinking about it, as Cookie does get 7 binoculars and 500 meters, I guess thinking about it, rather than 6A, the real option would be if you could manage a good 6B to unlock 7B. And then, oh wait, but then you unlock the B sides of the relevant chapters, not the A sides.
You wouldn't want that, really, since there's not many B-side objectives, really, compared to the rest.
Yeah, and there are 7A objectives, so you do want to get there.
Yeah. You just, like, can barely get anything. I'm just checking to see if the players will play all of 7A before going into any other chapters. Or playing partial 7A and quitting out.
Okay, and Random should be good here to finish 8C. Only
there we go.
2 checkpoints of 7A behind.
Isn't looking the best. He does seem advantaged to win all of this 1K stuff.
Yeah, but we can now see routing divergences, potentially, because Random probably realizes from the 7 binoculars tick that Cookie is considerably ahead of him in Summit, so he may choose to just unlock 500 meters and then go into 1A. Yeah, so Merib,
it could
we're
be
playing with a new custom progression. So the players started with all 3 sides of Chapter 6, and basically playing the all of the A side would unlock 7A and 8A, or the B side 7B and 8B. The C side unlocks 7C, 7C unlocks 8C, 8C unlocks the rest of the sides within those last 3 chapters, and then you have to play Summit to unlock other chapters by unlocking the corresponding Summit checkpoint. So unlocking 500 meters unlocks 1A.
Yeah, and completing 1A would not unlock the rest of the chapters. So, completing 1A wouldn't unlock 2A like it would normally. You have to play Summit.
Yeah, so now we see Random is going for All Berries and Crossing here, and presumably will also grab Forsaken City Cassette. And then I guess he will have to go back to Summit to unlock 2A. At some point, one of the players should go into 6A to get the Blue Heart and Cassette.
Yeah, they might not have an idea of when's a good time to do that. Since what are you giving up? Even if it's not too much, it could be giving the opponent like quite a bit of time to get progress in 7A. Random does take Forsaken City Cassette though, showing Cookie that Random has gone back to play 1A and will be significantly disadvantaged in Summit progress.
Alright, and yeah, Random skipped this left berry and crossing.
Now, presumably it goes back into Summit and gets some more progress.
Yeah, meanwhile, Cookie
Cookie's just been playing Summit so far.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why Cookie's continuing through 2K.
Possibly just trying to unlock
the
everything.
gem for 5 gems. Yeah, I guess.
Trying to immediately unlock all the game.
Yeah, just seems an odd decision to me.
Yeah, well, it could work out, since then you can just go back and just play through everything like a normal game.
Yeah, I guess if Temple was particularly strong on this board, it would make more sense to me.
Plays 2.5k?
Yeah, this definitely. Did Cookie not
You don't have to
fully
complete
understand
it,
how the
Cookie.
progression works?
You don't have to complete 2.5k to unlock Temple. I'm not sure what it could be going for here.
I suspect what we're seeing is a misunderstanding of how the progression works.
Yeah, that's very likely.
Because, I mean, when I read the description, I did think that it meant you had to complete the
Yeah, it would make
checkpoint
sense.
to unlock the chapter. Even then, I still find it kind of weird, because I don't feel like Temple is strong enough on this board to justify.
No,
like,
even like
rushing it
unlocking
this way.
2.5k, there's not a whole lot you can get in Temple, really. There's Stun the Seekers, Killer Seeker, That's not that much,
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what Cookie's doing at this point.
Playing
Like,
3K.
Like, with how much difficulty Random had with 8C, Cookie was very favored in this, and now has just spent a whole 8 minutes just playing Summit.
Yeah. What's the idea of this? Does completing Summit unlock anything else?
Epilogue? Which
What
this
is-
is not on the board.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they
Meanwhile-
have Epilogue on Farewell Unlocked, because 8C does that, I'm pretty sure.
They definitely have Farewell. I don't think they have Epilogue, but also they don't need it.
Very confused as to what's going on here. Probably just a misunderstanding again, as you said.
Well, I mean, if as Reed says, they think that finishing 7A will unlock all of 1 to 5A, that is technically correct. It's just...
Yeah, just they won't know what actually happened. That...
Well, also, they've seen that Random has ticked objectives in 1A, so they clearly know, and they clearly know that Random has not beaten them in a summit race by that much. So
yeah.
Okay, yeah, and so Random was rushing for 4A to go for get a 1-up in 4A. This also means that Random is decently placed to go for 5 berries and 5 chapters now.
This like really allows Random Name to clear up a lot of fast objectives in all these other chapters. And ticks 1-up in 4. Hey.
Yeah, to the question, are the berries in 3K fast? Like, if you're playing 3K anyway,
Yeah.
then they don't lose a huge amount of time compared to just playing the checkpoint normally.
They're
But
not
if you
worth
just
going
want
for.
any berries, yeah, like they're not worth the time it takes to unlock the checkpoint for how
No,
fast.
not at all.
And yeah, Random also going for a cassette here for progress to 4 cassettes. Yeah, that would synergize nicely with Reflection cassette, which is also on the board.
Vicky does get out of Summit though. Goes into 5A.
And we are finally going into 6 for Reflection cassette, Reflection Blue Heart.
Does make a lot of sense to go for now, since they're probably the fastest objectives on the board.
Yeah, and Reflection cassette, as I mentioned, also synergizes with 4 cassettes. And yeah, so this is looking very favored to Random now.
Yeah.
Because the only chapter Random doesn't have access to that Cookie does is 5A, and Cookie is already there, so Random would get locked out in any case.
Yeah, Cookie playing all
Yeah.
of 7A gives Random a lot of...
It's 20 minutes into the game, we finally
Fine.
enter the chapter we've had unlocked right from the start. Very true.
And 8A, yeah. That probably won't be entered for quite a bit longer. Random Does tick reflection cassette. Well, we know Cookie wins Killer Seeker and stuns Seekers 15 times. But there's not really anything else in 5A.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why they're in 5A and not 5B. Because we do have complete 2 B-sides and complete 4 B-sides on the board.
Well, you can't.
Which will give...
you can still get the cassette, yeah. Make a lot of sense.
Unless Cookie also missed the point about the progression that cassettes still work.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, with something like this, it's always hard to kind of intuit player thought processes, because in a lot of cases the answer to why they're doing something could just be they didn't fully understand how the progression works.
Well, it makes sense. This is a very confusing progression system. Cookie ticks Sunseekers in 15 times, and then Random immediately ticks 4 cassettes here after getting the 2A cassette. Random has an objective lead, and Cookie only having a small amount of progress lead. Especially since Random isn't contesting this at all.
Cookie going for Search, Seeker, Kill.
Best track.
And gets it. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's how you do the Kill Seeker. I once spent 3 minutes doing that in a Fog of War game. Because I didn't know how.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there are other ways to do it, which might theoretically be faster, but the reliable way to do it is you stun the Seeker under the block.
Yeah, Cookie going for objectives that Random Name was not contesting and never realistically was going to contest isn't very good.
So yeah, Random looks like is trying to clean up 5 berries and 5 chapters while also getting access to other things. Cookie continues in 2A towards Read the Poem and Awake. So Cookie will get that, while Random gets ahead in berries.
Yeah, and also progress with things like all berries and elevator shaft. Probably winning 45 berries as well, and 5 and 5.
Right. And also, I realize it's a joke, but no one is ready for this to replace regular progression.
Yeah. There's only like, I'm pretty sure there was discussion about Mint Chip replacing normal progression, but there's no way this could replace normal progression.
Yeah, Mint Chip was originally proposed as a possible replacement for normal progression.
If people like played it some more and like figured out how it works, then possibly.
Yeah, I agree, Red Bean Queen. It's going to be hard for a board to have an optimal route that's not just play C-sides to get to 7A quickly.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of variation here. Do you see the 5 and 5 tick from Random Name and also the Poem and Awake tick from Cookie? leaving the score at 6-7. Random name going into farewell, and Cookie going for winged golden.
There are 2 farewell objectives here. 4
Does
keys and
make
power source
sense.
and reach an intro card. I just realised Cookie still doesn't have 5 gems in Summit,
No,
despite having played all of Summit.
that doesn't make a lot
Which
of
is
sense.
fine, because it's not contested. But it's still a bit odd.
These players have had very, very different routes so far.
I will say, I'm very pleased that we ended up having this chosen, because it, I feel like there are probably tweaks one might want to make to this, but it's a very interesting, weird idea.
Yeah, it works perfectly for what this is, a chef special. Something crazy to throw the players into.
And yeah, I think there's definite scope for like inventing some sort of custom generator for this to make some of the other chapters more viable, make 8B relevant.
Yeah, 8B is... There's some parts of this progression system that doesn't mean anything.
It looks like we're
We've
getting
paused.
paused.
Seem to have a potential card desync, so just solving this. Okay. We have a few technical issues here. Oh, we should be just about ready to go again. Bingo Sync is being a bit slow, but it should be fine. And we have resumed. Cookie is now going into 4A.
So, I mean, the obvious thing that's here is, of course, always an old trail, but also just in general, 4A berries are decently fast. So if Cookie wants to try and contest 45 and 65 berries, this may well help with that. And it'll, if that is something they choose to go for, it could work out pretty well for them because, as we can see, Random is in Farewell, which does not have berries.
And the random goes get to
Moonberry. I mean, if Random plays all the way to the Moonberry, then I guess that that would more than even out the time Cookie wasted completing 7A.
Yeah,
no reason. But,
completing Farewell for no reason. Does Random go for the intro car on Farewell as well, though? Probably will, instead of just quitting out after 4 keys. Which wouldn't make sense to do, really.
we do actually see Random get all 5 keys. I guess figuring that once you've got 4 of them, just get the 5th instead of doing power source skip.
Yeah. Makes sense. RTM's here. Already planning to go get the intro car later. And contest Old Trailberries. But might not win it since Cookie's already well on the way into getting it.
Yep, so... Okay, and for total berry counts, we see Random at 36 and Cookie at 27. So, Random is definitely still favoured towards the cumulative berry objectives, but it's not outside the realm of possibility that Cookie could contest them. And certainly Old Trail berries should go to Cookie here unless they delay it.
Cookie probably won't win 45 berries since Random only has to get 6 more for that. But could possibly contest 65 later on.
Yeah, so... Yeah, this definitely still looks good for... Yeah, I guess I've been saying, oh, this is good for Random, but it's somewhat evened out.
Yeah.
Cookie now going into 3A,
You do have
heading
to remember that.
either for Elevator Shaft or for Pico 8.
Random name is pretty much... Intro car and Farewell is pretty much Random name's objective at this point, considering they've remembered progress.
Yeah, but then 5 gems in Summit is definitely favoured towards Cookie.
Yeah.
Neither player has B-side progress. I suppose Random has the cassettes, which is an advantage. Okay, Random now in huge mess. Are we going to Pico or Elevator Shaft? Looks like we're going to Elevator Shaft.
Random name has a good 3A, and then they're probably going to win at Elevate Shaft Berries. Since Cookie's just finishing up 3 star. Because getting all the berries, or at least some of the faster ones, but still takes time. Cookie may even win 45 berries here since they're at 37, 38 now. Random seems to be at 43.
Yeah, okay, no. Random will get this.
Yeah.
If Random had like a couple less berries,
Yeah.
then it might actually go to Cookie just based on the number of berries you can reasonably get out of. Although I guess if Random is going to Elevator Shaft for the berries there as well.
We're gonna see it there with 45 berries tick.
Yeah, and Cookie is also playing through Huge Mess, which is perhaps a bit unfortunate. If they'd gone to Pico instead, then they would have definitely got that. As it is, they're going to Elevator Shaft, they're just behind.
Yeah, they don't know where Random is still. Because Random could have gotten those 45 berries in any other chapter. Seems like it's going to be an unfortunate lockout for Cookie. A very even game so far. Question is it faster to play 7B for B-side progress? Or is it faster just to go get the cassettes? Yeah, we see the elevator shaft berry tick from random name. The objective counts seem to either be delayed or not working on the stream. Maybe Bingo Sync's playing up a little bit, since it's actually 8 objectives to Cookie and 10 objectives to random name. Yeah, here we go, Cookie. Going into Pico, or random names, getting B-side progress.
Yeah, which is
Not
definitely...
what Cookie needs to be doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Cookie will get an objective faster here, but Random is making progress to 2 objectives.
And 15 in Pico isn't super fast. It's not too super slow either. It's definitely the fastest objective on the board right now. But no synergy, really.
And yeah, so... Yeah, basically, if Random gets the 2 B-sides objectives and intro car, then he just wins the game.
Yeah, I'm not
And
sure.
it's hard to see Cookie contesting that, since they don't have the easy access to Farewell or B-sides.
No. The only way Cookie can really have a chance here, if they managed to contest the B-sides and win 4 B-sides, while Random has a lot of progress into that and wastes quite a lot of time. But as Random has already finished 1 B-side, is just going into his second.
To discussion going on in chat, yeah, completing 6A or 6B unlocks the corresponding sides of both 7 and 8, but if you go by C sides, then it's just one at a time. So you have to go 6C, 7C, 8C, but you could go directly 6A to 8A.
Well, Cookie here is trying to contest 65 berries. Random isn't even going for that right now.
Actually, I think this is more about Cookie getting the summit gems that they missed first time around. The berries are just on the way.
Yeah. Didn't see that. Does make sense to go for keep Random Name from sniping those, and we do see the tick from 5 gems in Summit. Random now definitely knows that Cookie doesn't really have little to any B-side progress. And Cookie going for the Mountain Berry.
Yeah, so I guess Cookie didn't know that Random was playing B-sides all this time.
Yeah,
So
there's no way to
may have just been just guessing. But it also it also wouldn't entirely surprise me if it was partly just a case of expecting to lose the game and trying to get as many objectives as possible in the meantime.
Yeah.
As we see Random now going to finish off 65 berries.
Does make sense too. Because since you know that Cookie doesn't have any B-sides progress, and this is the next fast objective on the board.
Okay, yeah, and now Cookie is trying to contest 65 berries. But,
maybe too late now.
Yeah, they're 10 berries behind. And that's... I mean, I think Cookie has... Cookie still definitely has an execution advantage, and I think that's probably more pronounced in the B-sides than it is in any percent, but I don't think it's enough to make up a 10 berry difference.
Random, collect the berries. I mean, you know, since
I mean, Cookie
berries a lot faster.
Probably could still win 65 if Random, dies with these. Okay, this is clearly deliberate at this point. Random is trying to get a Shrine 1-up just for the fun of it.
May just lose the objective. Yeah, it's very... Random's doing this on purpose now. Has a 5 berry train. Still doesn't collect them. Okay. Oh, does collect one. And now gets the Shrine 1-up. Oh. goes into the 3A for the final berry or two. Or 1A. Cookie still needs an entire 7 berries. Yeah.
Okay, for a moment there, I thought Random was going to go for one up here as well, even though he
Random
needed
does
less
pick
than 6
65 berries. And has progress into Intricate in farewell and 4 B-sides. And Cookie's just going for Heart and Mountain Berry still. Random will be getting the Intricate in farewell here. Yeah, it was a very close 65 berries. Random name, Tix, reached Intricate in farewell, DD. Takes the game.
Yep. Interesting custom progression.
Yeah.
I feel like, possibly wants some kinks ironing out of it. The idea is, interesting. So I'm going to be hopping off comms for the next match. Replaced by someone.
The scheduled commentator not be here today.
Yeah, Reed will be replacing me, so
Easy,
I'll stick around until they turn up. But
okay.
So what did everyone think of Cookies and Cream progression?
Hello.
Hello. It's great seeing you. Just watched that game, Cookie vs. Random Game 2, the chef special. Oh my gosh, was that spicy.
Incredible.
I mean, they called it Cookies and Cream, but that was anything but sweet.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever it is, we've got a game 3 on our hands. Random Name taking the first 2 games, but it's not a best of 3. The content is provided to you no matter what.
The content is still here, don't worry, it's not going anywhere. The pun was bad, but we roll with it, I pick.
The cookie has crumbled. Amazing.
Wow.
We're gonna have
game.
We're gonna have a short intermission for you here, as players ready themselves up for our third bout. Let's take a look at the potential options for game 1. Oh, sorry, for game 3 of this set.
What are the options? I don't think they've been posted yet.
Alright. Option 1, we've got Tick Trick, in which a category of variants in which the way you tick objectives changes. We have BS Bingo, Strike Go, and Draft Lockout. Option 2 is Multi-Board. We could be seeing some Sync Out, some 3-board Lockout, or some Desync Go. And option 3 is Assist Mode. we might be seeing some 140% speed bingo, some teleport mode bingo, or some infinite jump bingo.
All of these could be very entertaining.
Yeah, any of these could be extremely spicy. All right. So I guess we have to leave it up to the players, Random Name and Cookie, to pick what they'd like. I'd say both these players are definitely chaos enjoyers, though admittedly that last game maybe was a little bit much. I wouldn't be surprised if we got something like either 140% speed bingo, which seems like it has the potential for many shenanigans, or on the other hand, something like, I don't know, BS bingo, in
When's
which
the epic in the chat?
players...
Random Name has labbed infinite jumps before.
I see. Good to know.
So it isn't Random's pick in the end.
I mean, something else to note is that these players might be drawn towards BS bingo, given that that is one of the few bingo variants in which you're allowed to tick objectives you don't have.
Yeah.
And that seems like just the right amount of chaos for this crowd.
Gotta try and figure out if they really did that objective in that amount of time.
Yeah.
Random and Cookie
the way
are trying to count
works, the way that
bingo
BS
for their
bingo
meta
works,
bingo.
yeah, the way BS bingo works basically is that you're allowed to take objectives whenever you want. If your opponent calls BS on you, because you tried to take something you didn't actually have, then you're forced to untick the objective. They get to take it in their own color without having to do it. And I think there's like maybe a small penalty. You have to wait for like half a minute or something in place.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's incredibly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Cookie is banning multi-board.
Alright, so no sync out, no three-board lockout, no desynco. We're going for the content either way, whether it's going to be tick, trick, or assist.
Random is saying
Random gets first pick.
Random's asking if they can count BS Bingo for their meta bingo game. It's been going on for a long time now.
Yeah, Random Name and Cookie have had a bit of a rivalry, makes sense. They're here in Bingo Brawls. And in particular, they have this little thing called Meta Bingo, which they have going, which is a board of 25 objectives, and each objective is an entire another game of bingo. And so what Random Name and Cookie are potentially proposing to themselves right now is if they want to do BS bingo right now, right here, then they might be able to count it for that 25 objective board.
Yeah, I've been looking for someone to potentially start a meta bingo game with, but time zones makes it tricky. Yeah,
meta bingo is such a lengthy variant. Playing 25 bingo games is so much more than you expect.
Yeah.
Random Name and Cookie have been at it for, well, months at this point.
Yeah.
And if they do get a completion off, that will be the first time that variant's ever been done.
And they're choosing BS Bingo to do.
Meta bingo against me.
Yeah, let's go.
Sure.
All right. In that case, players have agreed to do BS bingo. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull out the dedicated rule set for this one.
I've got the bingo. I've got the variant website open. Control V. Control V. No, I got snailed.
Okay. Okay. So BS bingo, created by Math Hacker, is kind of like lockout bingo, except players can take this off before getting them. The opponent can challenge any tick that's made at any time, If the tick was fake at the time of making the tick, the player who made the bluff has to sit still for 30 seconds, and the opponent gets the objective without needing to complete it. If the tick was real, play
very risky
continues.
to anti-delay.
You might say, what's the issue with challenging every single objective that gets ticked? Well, you're only allowed to fail 3 different challenges. So if you challenge and you're wrong, you can only challenge 2 more times. If you fail 2 of your challenges, then at that point your opponent might as well just start taking objectives and hope you fail a 3rd challenge. Because if you fail all 3 challenges, your opponent can tick off everything and win. Okay,
Just
the way
sorting out
that
the specifics here.
Yep, the way that ticking is going to work is that if someone wants to challenge an objective, say, hey, that was fake, they will untick the objective on the board, retick it in a different color, in this case red, and that will count as a challenge. Can you fake, then get the objective and have it be safe? No. If an objective was fake at the time of ticking, a challenge against it will work, regardless of if it's been completed since then.
Don't immediately go and tick all flags in 3,000 meters at the beginning of the game.
Yep. But hey, the cool thing about BS Bingo is there a time limit to challenge something? No, you can challenge anything whenever.
Yeah.
You may fail 3 challenges, so if you feel like the game is lost and you have challenges remaining, you might as well use them on really old objectives and just see if anything was fake, and try and snipe objectives that way. No time limit on challenging.
It's going to be a very interesting game to watch, since players
Yeah,
have no
certainly.
idea what ticks are real or not.
Yeah, something to note is that this is true for any bingo game we have, but it's especially important for this one. There is a bit of stream delay on both these players' streams, so we will see things get ticked off before the players get there. They may not actually be faking. They're mostly like, that might not actually be a fake. It's just because their streams are slightly delayed.
Yeah. That does happen.
In that case, our player's pretty close to being ready, so we should be delivering a transition to you in just a couple of moments. Good luck, Cookie. Good luck, random name. You've had 2 content games so far. Let's make it a 3rd.
Yeah, good luck. Meta Bingo Game 14.
Right. Generating a new card for you super quickly. The score is not 10-13. Random has not already won. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Meta Bingo Game 14. Whoa, so they're 14 out of 25 of the way in at this point.
Crazy. Is there
Huge
a
time commitment. Huh?
is there first? Would it be a first to 13 though?
I think it would be a first to 13, but there's a chance they just play it out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, if they're on game 14 right now, that means one person hasn't won every game.
Yeah. I'd be very surprised if that was the case, considering how close these players have been, their skill level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should be starting in just a second. Here we go,
With
the
Meta
board
Bingo,
has been
there is a
revealed.
winner. With Meta Bingo, they're not working to complete 25. There's a winner, and the winner of the match does get that tick. But yeah, board revealed. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've had some crazy variants today, but thankfully all of them have just been standard lockout boards. So let's take a second to analyze this. All berries instead of 1A, pretty fast objective. 12 berries in 2A, also decently quick.
Honestly, something I wouldn't be surprised the players to do is after, like a little bit after completing 1A, just ticking all berries in Chasm. Even if you haven't done
Really?
it. And delaying
Really?
it a bit so it looks like you did the berries first pass.
You see, the problem
But-
with just starting to anti-delay out of nowhere is that everything you try and anti-delay makes your opponent suspicious of you. And so
Yeah.
if you tick off all berries in Chasm, if Cookie, for example, ticked off all berries in Chasm, I feel like Random Name would look at that and go, hey, there isn't any way Cookie actually took the time to go for berries in Chasm when this board has strong progress with 2B and strong progress with 2 seeded berries. I don't care that that objective is possible to have done. I'm going to challenge it.
It would make
And if
sense.
they challenge it, they get it for free, and you wait 30 seconds, which is just hell in early game.
Yeah.
Like, 30 seconds is so much time
You
early
lose
on.
like a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So, like, you're theoretically risking 2-ish objectives worth of value if you try and anti-delay really early on. One thing that you might want to do is anti-delay something like start of 1A, because it's a lot harder to tell, because that objective might actually get done.
Both players not going for start of 1A berries.
Well, yeah, let's see if anyone takes it. Start of 1A berries, best case scenario, it's 32 seconds into 1A. Realistic case scenario, it's more like 35. See if the ticks come in. Looks like nothing.
Nope.
Again, due to stream delay, if it were ticked off, we'd have seen it by now.
Yeah.
So yeah. No anti-delay is let off the bat. No BS is let off the bat, which is maybe to be expected considering how volatile 30 seconds is early on. It's just a heavy list to take.
Name's going to grab cassette early on.
Yep. Oh. Yeah, what is this for?
Yeah. Is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. There's kind of a lot of B-side synergy here. Let's say
Yeah,
B-side,
there
complete
is.
2 B-sides, 2A, 2B, 4 B-sides.
B-sides are strong here.
Maybe that has something to do. Oh, Random's going Chasm Berries.
Oh, okay.
Random's going Chasm Berries without the start of 1A ones. In
Okay.
hopes that Cookie sees the tick and challenges it. This is a bad play, and Random knows it, but Random is hoping to get a fair challenge out of Cookie right now. That's the move.
That is smart.
Oh.
The ultimate mind game bingo.
Yeah. I mean, I said before this game, if someone ticked off Chasm up, I'd call him on it, and
Yeah.
Random Name is calling my bluff on that. There's the Chasm up
Random
tick.
gets
Are we
the
gonna
tick on this.
see a
Cookie
challenge? Eyes on Cookie here. For
Doesn't
Cookie to
seem
challenge
like
that
it so
objective, will
far.
have to turn red. Doesn't seem to.
Just gonna focus on
Oof.
Getting some 2A berries.
Yeah, that is
Lucky for 12
unfortunate
and
for Landon
2A.
now. This is also probably for 2-seeded, but yeah, this is very unfortunate for Landon now.
Yeah, I'm going to play 2B first
Seeing that
pass.
tick. Seeing the lack of untick. No failed challenge. Alright,
Yeah,
it's Leo.
quite unfortunate for a random name. But it could have worked.
Definitely could have, but let's not count it out just yet. The thing is that you can challenge objectives anytime. So when endgame
Yeah.
comes around, if players have challenges left over, they will use them on things that seem suspicious. And let me tell you, that Kazumab still seems suspicious, so it might be challenged really deep into this game. This play
Would make
might
sense to challenge it earlier rather than later though, since early game 30 seconds is more than a mid/late game. The Cookie likely doesn't want to spend time trying to contest something when they just want to get 2B done.
Yeah, it's an interesting share of value there, in that the 30 seconds you have to wait. In early game, 30 seconds is worth a lot, and in late game, 30 seconds is worth fairly little. But for failing a challenge, you don't have to wait at all. You just have 3 challenges. And 3 challenges is worth the same whether it's early on or late. So it's somehow better to challenge early, because the upside of challenging is just better. Your opponent potentially loses 30 seconds of time. And the downside for challenging is worth kind of the same. However, if you challenge early, you're challenging on less information. So it's really a back and forth.
Both players having a bit of struggles with 2B, but Cookie seems to be solidly in the lead.
I mean, with both players having a little bit of struggle, one thing I might consider doing, if I were having not a Glade 2B, is just tick it 5 seconds early. Because it doesn't seem unreasonable at all.
And Cookie ticks 2B.
I think that was on
not
time.
It's an on-time one, yeah.
Just looking at
it's
the
like
screen
around
delay.
a 5-second delay to 10 seconds.
I think that's a Leo tick. So 2 ticks, and both of them are Leo. This variant, both players just playing it safe, really.
Yeah.
Random name has absolutely no basis to contest this tick. Woodside B-side is a powerful objective and good at this stage of the game.
Yeah,
and this just puts Random in an awkward spot, being behind after Kazumab. And just doing the same thing here means if Random Name's not careful, he'll get himself locked out of the 2A, 2B side and 2B side synergy as well, once Cookie finishes 4A and 5B.
Yeah. See, one goes back for start berries.
Ooh. Goes back for start berries.
Cookie does win 2-seeded.
Random Name is well behind now, but has decided to just double down and try and get a failed challenge out of Cookie, no matter what the cost is. And if that means doing something absurd like returning to start of 1A berries really early on, then Random Name's gonna try it.
Doing some crazy works here.
I mean, at the same time, Random's reputation works kind of against him, because if there's anyone you expect to go fully crazy in this kind of game mode, it would be Random Name.
Yeah, random ticks.
And so Cookie just might not want to untick anything, because Cookie might not want to challenge anything, because he doesn't want his instincts to be wrong.
Yeah. And Cookie's way ahead in 4A progress. And Random's going into 1B. Completely giving up on all progress and just trying to win that as B-side synergy.
Oh yeah, 2A, 2B sides early on.
Yeah.
Probably even having enough of a lead to win 2A, 2B sides after 4A. Yeah, I mean, this is... Random Name has given up all semblance of progress and is just gonna start taking objectives like hog mad here. And you know what? Maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
But for right now, Cookie's not biting.
I'm trying to pull out every bait possible here.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense for Cookie to not challenge
But with-
things.
I think I love the fact that this variant is getting showcased in this format because these two players
Yeah.
know each other so well. They've been longtime bingo rivals at this point.
Yeah.
And hey, Cookie's just aware of random name shenanigans at this point. We'll see if the 2B side sees an untick, because it will be slightly too fast for 4B. And that will look really suspicious.
Because it would, in Cookie's line, it wouldn't make sense for random to like at all go back for 1B and 2B.
To be fair, in Cookie's mind, nothing random name does make sense, so
Yeah.
we might see the lack of a challenge anyways. The other thing Cookie should note is that if he's not challenging, if they're not challenging, then they have no idea whether or not random name is
Takes 2B sides.
actually doing these things. And so if they're not challenging, they have no idea if they're lacing random name
Because if
heal or
random
not.
gets the pattern that Cookie just isn't challenging things, then you can start faking objectives that make some sense, but not too much sense.
Yeah.
Because if these crazy
mean-
objectives aren't getting challenged, then you can go some even crazier.
Well, we know for a fact that Cookie is highly skeptical here.
Yeah.
If only because Cookie didn't go for 15 berries in 4A. If I were playing this bingo game and my opponent, like a normal bingo game, and my opponent committed to start of 1A and chasm berries, I would know I was far ahead enough to win 15 berries in 4A and still stay ahead. Because
Yeah.
those two objectives combined take a minute 30 maybe, and then 15 berries in 4A is like a minute. And so the
40
fact
berries
that
are quite
Cookie
fast.
the fact that Cookie didn't go for it means Cookie's still skeptical. Cookie thinks, okay, maybe random name's actually on my tail.
Yeah. But random name
So-
isn't contesting anything involving late game, instead going to play 3A. Likely for 2 winged and 2. And also resort cassette is there as well.
Yeah. And a question in the chat, can one person delay bait and like try and tick one real objective and one fake objective at the same time? Yes, absolutely. That'll maybe even
that'd be
become
such a
relevant
play.
that'll maybe even become relevant in endgame.
Cookie is
when-
challenging all berries in start of 1A,
Okay.
and it is real.
And it is real. Okay, no
Wow.
loss for that. Cookie does not have to wait in place on anything, but that
Right.
is Cookie down to 2
In the
challenges.
bingo sync chat, it says Cookie pause. Is there a punishment for? There is no pause.
No pause.
There isn't.
There's no pausing for
punishment.
collect objectives. Play on.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing you lose is 1 ESLA challenges. Cookie has to wait in place for a couple seconds, but at this point the progress deficit is so big that it really doesn't matter.
No, not in the slightest, because round name knows that you can't contest things like 5B.
hmm
And Cookie likely knows that since 1A start berries were real, the chasm berries are going to be real as well.
Mhm.
And round name now ticks 2 winged and 2.
Also a Leo tick. Huh.
Also, all of these random name plays are very weird and do not make sense in the slightest.
Yeah. But, hopefully we're live again.
There we go. That's all good.
Quick hiccup with commentary, but we are back to it right now. And yeah, random name has just been taking Leo things, is probably also going to tick off this huge mess order too. And it's an entirely Leo tick, a absurd, silly story.
Cookie is... What? Is...
Oh, we had...
Some lag from Bingo Sync?
Okay, Cookie ticks 15 berries in 4A. Random name ticks off the huge mass order. I don't think Cookie has 15 berries in 4A. So...
Yeah,
so like for a second Cookie takes 15 berries in 4A in lead, it probably looked a little confusing. That's just because Cookie's caliber is lead after that challenge.
yeah.
Ignore anything, nothing crazy has happened. No challenges.
Cookie won't be challenging the huge mess order since after the 2 England 2 tick.
Yeah,
Knows it's
I
very
think
likely that
at
Random
this
has
point,
actually started to play 3A.
I think after seeing the start of 1A tick was Leo, Cookie has gotten the memo. You failed one challenge, but you realized, oh, everything random name's doing right now is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Well, except for maybe Resort Cassette, if random name attempts to take that in a second here.
That
Because
would be
that was
quite
absolutely
a good thing to take.
Because that was absolutely a demo
Yeah.
we saw from random. And to be honest, after all the Leo takes you've done, if you take off Resort Cassette right now, I am absolutely believing you.
Yeah.
With all your lost
Desensitizing
progress.
Cookie.
Eyes on Cookie here should win 2A, 2B sides. Doesn't tick 2A, 2B sides.
No.
That's a little bit worrying, especially if you know random name is going for... has gone for 2B sides and is in 3A. You really don't have time to be
Cookie's
waiting
going into
here.
a summit. Hopefully this isn't an over delay.
Really hope not.
Don't
But
do
it's
it,
looking
Cookie.
more and more likely with every room random name gets to. This is the last room of 3A. Just seconds left for Cookie to maybe get this.
Random name ticks,
No.
complete 2A, 2B, locking Cookie out.
That is so
Wow.
unfortunate.
Oh,
And meanwhile, Cookie is properly delaying kill 2 different Seekers
yeah.
to try and confuse random name on the B-side progress. And is then going to properly delay, and is then going to properly probably take Milo Temple B-side and Allberry 0 meters at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I see. So Cookie is delaying kill 2 Seekers in Temple B-side to make the summit ticks look more fake? I'm sorry, is that the plan here?
That'd be an amazing plan.
I mean, if so, that's just absurd. But it could work. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We see random name committing to 4A right now. No more ticks for the time being. I don't think Cookie actually has 15 berries in 4A, but that is a scary objective to untick as random.
What's left in 4A? And Cookie ticks 5B.
There's the 5B tick. A little late, and random name might pick up on that if he's perceptive and say, hold on, there's something fishy going on. And now what's the plan for Cookie? Take off 0 meters and the 2 things in 1000 meters early? Is that the goal? Make it seem a little bit too quick?
Yeah.
I think that was just a little off from Cookie. I think that was just slightly too much of a delay on the Milo Temple B side there after kill 2 Seekers. I think random name's tipped off and is willing to accept whatever summit ticks come in.
Yeah, since one knows that there's no
I mean, at this
summit
point, players
progress that he's gonna get.
players only have 3 challenges, but there are 11 objectives out of 25 ticked, and we've only seen 1 challenge come in.
Yeah.
Thankfully, players are in different places, so the 30 waiting seconds doesn't actually matter that much, and these players might know that and might be saving their challenges for late game. But it will start mattering very, very soon.
And Cookie
There's a
ticks
12 berries and 2
2A.
tick from Cookie. That one ate a wheel.
Yeah, this
Same
one's
as the
fake.
15 and 2A tick.
And random challenges
Random
it.
challenges
A
it.
successful
Oh!
challenge.
Our first successful challenge. Random name does not lose a challenge there.
Wow. And Cookie has to wait
Cookie
there.
and Cookie has to wait for 30 seconds.
Wow.
That is so unfortunate.
Cookie, stop playing.
Cookie, wait.
Cookie, stop playing.
Cookie, you gotta stop. The 30
Yeah.
seconds.
You need to pause now.
Cookie is not pausing. I don't think Cookie...
I don't think Cookie's bingo sync chat is working properly. Yep. There we go, Cookies. Just paused. Random name finishes up for a...
Yep. Cookie pauses for 30 seconds. Thankfully, it has absolutely no impact on the game because the players are nowhere near each other right now.
Immediately goes to what looks to be a reflection cassette play.
Technically, Cookie paused earlier by accident, not 30 seconds, I think. Alright.
Okay. Players aren't unpausing. Oh, Cookie is.
Yep.
Random is
Wait,
going for reflection cassette.
Yeah, I mean, Glabless Lake here and Reflection Cassette both really fast objectives, and one's random name will probably want to get right here.
Yeah.
I mean, both early Summit and early 6A being really powerful on this board. For sure. Oh! Glabless Lake, a second failed challenge from Cookie. Cookie
Yeah.
only has one challenge left now.
Wait,
And that
Cookie
gives
didn't
random name...
challenge that.
Wait.
Random
Oh.
name was just red.
Oh, yeah,
So
sorry. Oops, not a
Happen
failed
again.
challenge. Not a failed
Cookie
challenge.
ticks all banners in 1,000 meters and 3 gems in Summit.
I think Random Name's willing to accept it at this
Yeah.
point. I don't think Random Name's even a little bit suspicious.
And then we get
There's
a
a reflection cassette
tick.
tick, still no
A lot of
challenges.
ticks right now. And this is all real.
The only fake objective on the board at this point is 15 berries and 4A. Everything else has been real
Yeah.
up till now. Random Name going back for Pico 8 berries right now. Ooh.
Hmm.
I mean, in this case, it's going to be
Might not
working
be the
out
best
because
idea.
Cookie's in there right after him.
Yeah.
I mean, if we tally up the objectives right now, Cookie's only at 8. That can theoretically get 9, 10 from the two things in 7A. Has a slight lead to 4B sides, having 2 done, but they're slightly longer ones than Random Names 2. And is a little bit behind to Blue Lighted Reflection and the 2 3A things.
Yeah.
All in all, a relatively close game. I'd give Random Name a hesitant advantage, though.
Oh dear.
Oh, that was intentional because Random Name
Was
had
it?
forgotten to get berries. Yeah,
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
I do that sometimes.
Which ones did random forget to get?
Just any of them.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it was an accidental retry thing, but...
Yeah, thank goodness. And
Yeah.
5 berries Pico is absolutely a fast objective anyways. But hey, this tick is going to come off from random and it's not going to look suspicious at all. And better yet, this 1.5 minutes of wasted time isn't that wasted for Cookie because it allows Cookie to potentially start taking things that they don't have.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't be
at this
surprised if
point-
Cookie, like, fakes the 20 berries in 7A.
Yeah, but at this
Since-
point, random names still having 3 valid challenges should be challenging almost anything Cookie ticks. So
Yeah.
Cookie can barely afford to delay things. Just having those 3 valid challenges until this point has been really strong. And I think both players maybe played a little bit too conservatively with their challenges and delays early on.
Our name's just going to quickly clear up the Celeste Resort cassette, which ticks.
Gets ticked. It's hard to go against that, and at this point, random name has, well, really no reason to be faking objectives.
Yeah. Our Cookie challenges Resort cassette.
It's fortunately not
That
the
was a failed
case.
challenge. And Cookie
And then-
also ticks 20 in 7A,
Yep, not a challenge there.
which
Cookie
is a
just
real objective.
random name
Random
challenges
is
20 and
challenging 20 in
7A.
7A.
It's
and
a
that is
real
a failed
objective.
challenge.
It's still fullest. Random name types in Bingo Sync chat. Might as well try. I mean, if you've
That
got
makes
3
sense.
challenges at this point, it's reasonable. Challenge count right now, 2 for random name, 2 possible challenges left for random name, 1 for Cookie.
Yeah. And Ramline goes into farewell. Already going for grab this power source.
The only
Well,
fake
Cookie-
objective on this board is still 15 berries in full A.
Yeah. Cookie seems to be going for 3 keys in search.
Yep. And hey, at this point,
Mm.
the random name's not letting out of challenges, so Cookie's got to play, well, real things.
Yeah. Because Random can just challenge anything really at this point.
True, but we're now in a bit of a tricky situation because random name is going for Godless Power Source instead of cleaning up the 4 B-sides Blue Red Reflection synergy.
Yeah.
And that means Cookie has an opportunity to snipe that synergy and maybe even just win this as a lockout board, depending on how long these things take. Actually, it's looking unlikely that that'll happen just due to the length of Godless Power Source versus Leaky Search. I mean, Cookie is also down to 1 challenge left, which is the danger zone. At this point, if Cookie uses a challenge and gets it long, Cookie, well, doesn't technically lose the game, but random name may then tick off every objective for free, so Cookie loses the game.
Yeah.
So,
Since
this point, Cookie's
if
gotta
Cookie
be
can't
real
challenge
sure.
anything, then Random just can do anything and Cookie can't say anything about it.
Yep. And right now, random doesn't have any fake objectives to, well, to allow as a challenge. Somehow,
Yeah.
random name's strange route of 2B into 3A into 4A, and somehow winning the 2 reflection things ended up working out really well. I think Cookie
Yes.
maybe could have tried to capitalize on the progress lead a little bit sooner and multitask reflection and summit, or maybe even better yet, tick off reflection. They're fake, but tick them off anyways. Get random name into summit.
Yeah. Few things would have worked here. Ooh,
Sad to say.
unfortunately, misses power source skip.
I mean, in a game mode like this, there are so many different ways the game could have gone.
Remembers that needs to be doing grabber's power source.
Little oopsie there.
Yeah.
At this point, as random name, I would probably just take off Godless Power Source, move on with my day.
Yeah.
I guess random name doesn't have to. Kinda.
It's not super needed. Probably just wants to play safe, really.
Yeah, can get 2 objectives and just win without ever having to fake anything.
Yeah. I don't think random's faked any objectives so far.
That's really funny. Yeah,
playing
random name has not
board.
faked a single thing.
Gets powers or skip.
There's 3 keys in search. Are we gonna see a challenge from Random? As Random, I might challenge here just to know if that will real. So I could know if I could multitask or not.
Yeah, it would make
Not
some
because
sense.
I actually think it's fake, but just to see if it is.
Doesn't seem like there's a challenge here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Cookie... Oh,
But
random name taking off Gobble's Powerless.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Cookie not going for 6A in the synergy there. I mean, as Cookie here now, the game is all but over due to blue out reflection.
Random's going for Bird's Nest and Epilogue.
That's...
I mean, you have to play through the entirety of Summit.
Well, we're in for the long haul, folks.
Yeah.
It might be a bit.
Because this is like it's the wrong decision, but sometimes that works. Because Cookie's just going to go for everything else. And by the time
Cookie's not
Cookie's
just going to
cleaned
go
up
for
everything
everything
else,
else.
thinking that
Cookie
blocked out
is
random
going to
name.
go for everything else. Is going to be going for 1B here into 6B.
Yeah, I guess we're playing all of 7A. Wait, what happens if you're on 12 objectives and you just tick stuff?
I mean, yeah, theoretically speaking, random name could get Bird's Nest and Epilogue, and then tick 3. Well, not even get Bird's Nest and Epilogue, but just tick all 3 things here, or even just tick 1 thing here, and force Cookie to use their last challenge.
Yeah. There's no reason to keep playing.
Yeah, but there's also no reason to like tick something off here when it's fake, because you're pretty confident you can just win.
Yeah.
And if you do tick off, say, I don't know, blue light reflection, just to fake it and try end the game sooner, then if Cookie calls that out, which Cookie will have to do as a desperation move, then you just have to wait 30 seconds. Cookie should tick Epilogue, right? Yeah, Cookie can tick Bird's Nest and Epilogue. Random name will probably challenge it and win the game.
Yeah.
But it's a valid strategy for Cookie here. It's also not a fun strategy. I mean, one thing Cookie could do is get 4 B-sides alongside blue light reflection and just tick all 3 things and force random name to guess.
Yeah.
Though I guess random name would have to guess Bird's Nest and Epilogue, because you can't do Bird's Nest and Epilogue and 4 B-sides or something in that time frame.
In theory, what would happen if you just, in the beginning of the game, ticked off literally everything? What would happen?
I mean, your opponent would just challenge you and win the game.
No, you can't challenge everything, can you?
Yeah, you can. You can fail 3 challenges, but you can...
Oh, I see.
If you succeed, you can keep going.
Yeah. That wouldn't be a very good bingo variant if you could just do that.
Alright, progress 2-3K now tied, and with Cookie finishing out 4B, it's going to very quickly swing in random name's favor. Sadly, this
Yeah.
game is all but over.
I'm just entering 2K at this point. Yeah, Cookie goes play 4B.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, what? Oh, never mind. I saw a random name in like a loom that kind of looked like a 4B loom, and I was like, what? Huh? How did that
Yeah,
happen? But
it's 2K.
no, not at all. Still in 2K. Random name will finish this
Finish
objective
2K.
and take it off correctly, and sadly that gives Cookie absolutely no wiggle room.
Some at any percent content.
I mean, if Cookie say if random name only had say one challenge left here, then it might actually be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Because Cookie could tick off 4 B-sides at the same time as Epilogue, and just force random name to guess and maybe waste his last challenge. But that's not the case.
Random name has really been preservative with challenges, and still has 2 left. So
Yep. I mean, not challenging 3 keys in search was definitely the move there.
yeah,
I mean, with 2 challenges, this end game is all but over. Random name is going to get Bird's Nest and tick 4 B-sides in chat.
that would be funny.
Random name will attempt to 15 flex and get Cookie to guess the long last challenge.
Yeah.
It might even happen. At that point, random name will have actually won the game.
Random
There's the
name
4
ticks
B-sides
4
tick.
B-sides.
Are we gonna see a challenge on it?
What happens here?
Does Cookie believe it?
Cookie
Game is
just-
over. Why did you believe it? Why is Cookie still playing? Random S13.
Cookie's bingo sync chat. I know there was an issue with that, but it should be okay now, I think. Cookie is challenging.
Cookie's
Challenging
challenging
chasm
all
berries.
berries in chasm. Sadly, the wrong thing to
Unfortunately,
challenge.
that was real.
Yeah. GG.
And I don't know, wins the game.
That is the game.
Incredible. Really interesting bingo variant.
And yeah, that early gameplay from random name worked out because Cookie was suspicious till the end.
Wow.
Oh yeah, because even if Cookie challenges and guesses for free, it means that B-side progress was wasted. Yeah, I can see that. Sure. Yeah, the fake.
Yeah,
15
those
berries
were the fake
were
objectives.
Kill 2 Seekers was fake. Didn't notice that.
Neither did I.
But yeah.
Wow. Incredibly interesting game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just random names showing off how understanding objective timings can really help you in this game mode because you know when to challenge things and when to not.
Yeah.
Keep mentioning I should never try to play more than one game of stupid bingo in a row. Hey, I feel ya. This bingo study, Bingo Brawl, has been nothing but excitement the entire time. And speaking of excitement, we've got more for you coming at you tomorrow at, oh gosh.
We have an entire
give me a second to do the
6
conversion.
games tomorrow.
6 games tomorrow,
That
starting
is a
at
lot of bingo. First 3
6
games will be The Man vs. Arabelle. And the second 3
6
games will be Epic vs. Ad.
Yeah, something like...
2 very prominent pairs in...
No, hold on. Starting at 1 p.m. No. 3 p.m.
3 p.m. UTC.
UTC.
Yeah.
A little over 7 hours ago. Depending on what your internal clock says. That's going to be happening, which is super exciting. We'll have 2 more matches on Saturday. We'll have a couple more matches on Sunday. We'll take a short break on Monday, and then we have a closing event on Tuesday, and that will be, well, at this point, possibly the most exciting bingo event we have.
Yeah, one of the longest ones as well.
That too. I
A lot
really
of bingo.
cannot thank Flying enough for organizing this and making this entire thing possible. And to our wonderful stream team and our commentators and everyone for making this doable. Just huge shout outs to everyone
who's helping. Phosphor Towels, GDQ.
Yeah. We're probably going to be waiting Games Done Quick here, which is letting Phosphor Towels. Super exciting.
And this next donation incentive is Carrium's Denny % run.
Yeah, Kelly is doing a Denny % run on Games Done Quick extremely quickly. So that's going to be very exciting. But with that, beyond.
Yeah. Random and Bingo think chat. I have to do math homework now and I do not think I can.
Oh, Frozen Ficon's running Kingdom Hearts? Yo. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how do I?